Hey guys, welcome back to my another video. This video is going to be a fifth video for building the APIs on the Spring Boot, and of course this is going to connect with the Angular app in the front end later on. So far what we built on the last video is we created the controllers, of course, and inside the controllers we have created the post, we created the put, we have already the get, which will provide me everything, right? And now I think the we need to create the delete functionality, and I think I also missed to create another function here just to get by ID. So we need to create another here called get by the ID. So I'll just say that get by ID, and whenever we provide the ID on the path variables here, right? Using the path variables, and this should be a get mapping, of course. So whenever we do a get mapping on the path variables, then it should find, it will give me the get here using the get talks by ID function. Get talks by ID, we provide the ID, and it's gonna give me exact the same one. I'll just copy this instead of the typing everything. I'll just copy this one here. So now that's it. Now if it's found it, then it's gonna give me the talks. If it doesn't found it, then it will not give me a talks. Basically, we just need to provide the ID, and it will give me the object of it. So here, if I run it now, it's going to be empty. So now I need to post it. I will post this. Now I have only one. So if I do give me the one using the get function, then it's gonna give me only one object. So if I run this on here as well, if I run it here, now it's going to provide me array. But if I tell them give me only one with the ID, then it's gonna give me. But if I didn't give me any ID SD of something, then of course it's gonna tell me that yeah, this is not even founded, right? This is not even founded stuff. Okay, it says that if I do this, then it's a requested talks not found stuff, the error stuff like that. We could also handle the error, but we're not gonna do that, okay? And these tutorials. So now let me go to another one is a delete mapping. So now we need to create a delete mapping features on it here. Okay, so basically I'll copy the put mapping and I will paste it here. And so instead of add, I'll just do delete talks. So on delete talks also it will give me the ID. So I'll just get this ID on the path variables. So once I have the ID, I will check it. The ID is exist or not. If the ID is exist, then what I need to tell them, then okay. If the ID is exist, then I will tell that the talk service. We need to create, of course, the delete on talks service called delete. We don't have a delete service. So now let me go to the talk service and create this delete function. So I will click on this, create a method. Yep, create this. So now it's gonna create me a delete here. Okay, so now it's gonna return me. No, not return. It's not gonna return anything. So I'll just say that docs repository dot delete by ID, right? We can say delete by ID, which is on the CRUD repository here. And yep, I'm going to use this delete by ID. So now it will provide me the ID and it's going to remove the my repository. Okay, so I'm going to use this, and on this one, of course, I'm going to use this and it's going to remove it. And after it's remove it, I can say that I can use the exact same message here, but instead of tags not found, I'll just say that the tags removed, right? The ID is good. This tag is removed, and I'll just send them. That's it. The delete function is ready as well, so I will just test it now using the postman. So now once I run it, I don't have it. Oh, I don't have it. Yep. So I'll just try to run it. It's giving me empty. So I'll just use a post to add this. I have a test here. So this is it. So you know what? I'm going to click the add. So now I have a two talks here. If I go in get, now I'll see here the same one, ID1 and ID2 with the same two array, but I would data or array, or I want to remove this now. So how you remove it? I go to delete and I'll just tell them what to delete. One. So if I do delete, then it says the method not allowed because I didn't use any, I forgot to put this talk slash ID. So I'll just save it and I will go back again here. So the problem is now whenever I save it, right, it's gonna create me a new table again. The reason is, as I mentioned before, I use this create here. So instead of using a create, I can use an update as well. So it doesn't create me every time new table is created. So I'll just create it as an update for now. So now, of course, if I go in my get and I was trying to get the talks, then it's going to give me empty array. So I want to post, I have data here sitting here. So I want to post this test1 and I'm going to post again the test2. So now test1 and test2 is posted, right? So I want to try to get it. And once I try to get it, now I will see that there's two data, I receive it. So now I want to delete which one? Maybe two? Okay, I did two. If I delete the talks two talks as I mean ID this ID talks is removed. So now let me verify with by getting the all the talks. Yep, that's right. That has been removed, so I have only one here. Okay, so that's so far we already create the core CRUD functionality. So now the last thing what we need is and we need to we need to also count how many are exist here, and we need to do a group by type, because on to do on the type we have only three type we are going to add. The first thing is to do, the another is done, and the last is pending. So we need to get a group by this, and we need to get the percentage of how many of in our table, how many percentage are to do, how many percentage are pending, and how many percentage are been done. So we need to get that data, and we need to do some we need to write some query for that one. Okay, we need to write a custom query for that one. Okay, so the first thing I just want to let you guys know that whenever I added a new data, so as like test2, and let me do this is adding on the December 2020 something. So let me do the 0101, right? 2021. Let me add this. If I add this data, then what happened if I trying to get it? Oh, I didn't add it, sorry. I just need to do a post here to add it. So now it's post add the data. So if I get it, so I'll get the two data, but it doesn't do order by due date, right? Because I want to see which is the latest one on the top. This is the latest one, due date. Or we can also do ascending or descending order by using a due date. Uh, but we want the due date. Let's assume we want the due date, which is whatever you added, the due first one, the due date should become at the top level here. Okay, so this is the which I added, and of course, 2021 January 1st is should come before this, because I want this list to have the due date by the descending order. Okay, to do that we need to also write a custom query for this. So now let's go in Spring Boot and let's write some custom query. So how we can write a custom query is using the repository here. As you can know, guys know that repository is only extend the JPA repository. It doesn't have anything, but we could literally write here the custom query. We can literally write return me all the get all tags by descending order of what? Due date, let me say due date, not due date descending order. Okay, so this will return me everything by due date, but we need to write a query here. So there is annotations how we can write a query. So if I write a query here, so in a query we can write a value. So we will tell them, okay, select, right? We can like literally the SQL query from. Is that my table called task? Let me check my SQL table on my PSP admin. Yes, it does call the task, and we said that order by due date descending. We'll just say order by due date descending, and we will tell that this is native. Hold on, is a query? Yep, native query here on the bottom is true. So now we could use this function. I just need to import this list from the utility class. Java utility class. So now I know that I could use this function to run this query, and this will do as a descending by the due date. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close this, save it, right? I'm gonna close this, and I'm gonna use this on. I have a repository. I need to use it on service. So I will go to the service and I will use that. So now here's a list get task. So instead of using get this one, I'll just use the another one which I created. Get tasks due date descending one. Okay, so it's gonna return me a same exact. It's gonna call by the controller, and controller is basically I'm gonna show you just in case it's calling this get mapping task. Okay, so now let's see what happened if I go to my here, or I can go directly on. So now it's when I run this, yes, this time it doesn't delete my data once I save it because I changed that to update, so it doesn't remove it, and it also does this due date is descending order. As you guys can see, here's 2021-01 is coming at first, and after that it's coming at first. So now let me add another one more data here using the post request on this one. So now let me add with the 00101, let me do that 02. So now I send it, it's posted. So if I go here and check it out, then I will see that the recently which I added 02 is coming at the first, and comes 01, and so basically it's doing a descending order by the due date. That's what I need. I mean, we don't need to do a descending order by due date. I think we just need a today's date. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it's really up to how the business logic should be. But for this one, I'll just do this one just to show that how we can use a native query as well. So this is the first native query which I use it here. Now the another one is let's go in the repository and let's use another query as well. So in this time, what we really need is, as you guys can see, the type is to do. So if I go to my query again here and change this type to pending. So we just want to know that on another one is to do, right? We have to do, pending, and the done. That's what we need. So I added a couple of more data. So now I can see a couple of more data here. So we just want to know that how many percentages are in to do, how many percentages are in pending, and how many percentages are in to do on these tables. That's what we want to know. So how we know it? So to know it, we need to write some query here. So in this time, we're going to write the JPA query. Okay, to write the JPA query, I need to also create the custom class here just to catch that what is the data is going to return later on. So just to do that, I will create the class called count type, and I will put that inside the DTO data transfer object inside the DTO inside sorry sam.dto. Okay, I'm going to put it here. So this is going to be my class, right? And in the class, I'm going to create two private method, and that is going to be a long. It will count it, and basically an account it will give me the percentage, how many percentage it is, and I'm going to tell, and it's going to also tell me the what type it is that a pending, or is that to do, or is that something else, right? It's going to give me the percentage, and it's going to give me the type. So for this one, let me create this as a data, and let me create as all argument constructor, and I also need a no argument constructor for this one. Okay, so now I have all this constructor has been set up for this class. It's ready. So now I need to use it here, okay, on this query. So basically it will give me the group by get group by what, by type, right? Group by type, and I'm going to write a query here, and this is not going to be the native query, so I remove already. Good. So I'll tell them select instead of everything. We need to tell them new, create me a new object from where, from com-sam.dto, right? And it has a something called count type, and it will check the count type will check the constructor, and this constructor has the count and type. So we need to provide what is the count. So basically what we need to do is, let me delete this order by. So now when we are grading, when we select the new object, so we need to provide the count. So how we can count it, right? So basically we can use a count function, and basically it's gonna count it. So it's gonna count it how many to do are here. So if I go it here, so it's gonna count me how many. Basically, it's sorry, it doesn't count how many to do. It's gonna count everything. How many of the record is on the table. So basically, currently it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here it's a 6. It's gonna count the 6 table. 6, right? And but we want this count to be as group by, right? We want this to be a GRUB, group by type. Okay, so what it really does, it's gonna count it, but it's gonna put it the group by. It's gonna count it, but it's gonna put the group by type. It's gonna tell me that how many of the type of the to-dos are in the collections, or how many type of pending are in the collections, or how many type done. Maybe I have done 2 done are in this collection. It's gonna count it and it's gonna put it here using a group by. That's what the group by does. I mean, you guys can check also the SQL query of the group by to get a more understanding how the group by will work. But that's what the group by does. So it's gonna tell me that how many are sitting on it. Basically, what we need to do on SQL Server. You know what? I'm gonna write this on SQL first, and I'm gonna show you how it looks like. Go back to the SQL. Where is my SQL? You know what? Here. So go here. Now I'll just use it. So instead of using this everything, I'll just use here the count. So it just counted how many are there using the group by, and I'll use the type here as well. So now if I run it, so it's gonna tell me here that I have a 1 for done, 1 for pending, and 4 for to do. So this is the query that will tell me that how many are done and stuff like that. Okay, but we want to know that what's the percentage of it. To know the what's the percentage of it, so we know how many are there already, and but we also know that how many are total. So we need to write a nested query here. So to do a nested query, we can write a select everything from, or not everything, sorry, select count again, because we need to count how many are in total from same table tags. So once we know how many are in the same table here, so now we need to multiply this by the 100 to get the percentage. Okay, little small little maths here, that's all. So now it's going to tell me the 16.66 are done, 16.66 are pending, or 16.66 are to do, stuff like that. Okay, so this is how we can get the percentage of it. So how we can raise in a JPA here. All right, so this is in how we can write in JPA query. Basically we use this, we use count here. So after this count, now we need to call the select here. Select again, select again, we need to use a count everything. Now we need to count everything from where? From the task, right? That was the table. From task. Oh, we can write task in a uh, we need to write is right. We need to write a task T as a uppercase, because task is basically what the JPA thought about is the model, not the table itself. This is native query, that's why we can write it here. But for JPA, we can write it like that. Okay. So here, what we need to do is we need to multiply by 100. So now I think it's going to run. I'm not. I think it's going to run. You know what? Let me check. So in this count, the first is taking as a count here. So this is the one multiplied by 100. Looks good so far here. You know what? I think I miss here. No. I didn't miss it here. Yep. I just missed it. Type. We need to provide the what type it is too from the group by. So basically, we need to tell them in a query here this type, what type we need. I think I missed that part here. Okay, now let me try this query. So how to try this query? So instead of returning the tags, it should return me a count type now. So I need to use a count type. Okay, so I'll import this TTO. So now I will use this. So I will create this construct service for this. So basically this service is basically going to be get group by type, get get a percentage, group by type, could be anything. I'll just write it as okay, I'll call this, and basically it doesn't return me a void. Tax repository that get group by something, this one, and it should return me that the list of the hold on, the list of the count type. So I'll just copy this count type and I'll put it here. List of the count type, and yeah, I'll save it. So once I have services, now let me check to the controllers, and I will just use here mapping, right? So on the controller, I'm gonna create the new functions. New, of course, need to create a new controller here. Functions get count, a little bit get count task, right? By, or I can use exact same one what I use it for services. Let me check in services. Get percentage by group by type. So I'll use exactly the same one. Get percentage by group by type. But here I'll use a task dot v dot data, right? Dot percentage and percent count type. Let me do percent count type. Okay. So this is my the and instead of here, of course, I need to use a get percent this one. Okay, so now let's test this. Okay, yeah, count type, of course. Count type. Okay, so now this is ready. So now let's test this. Okay, so if I run it, okay, this is good. So now what is the function called? It's a percent count type. So here it is, 16%, 16%, 16%, and 66% that I have it. If I added more on this done, let me add more, one more on done, then of course done is going to increase now. If I run it, done is in 28%, and this is 14, and this is 50. It doesn't give you a decimal parts, but we're just gonna we don't want to worry about that. We're just gonna put it like up to here for now. Okay, so that's all for this video, guys. I think all our APIs is ready. Now it's time to build something on Angular using the material design. That's what we're gonna do on the next video. And thank you very much for watching, guys, for this. And please do like and subscribe my video if you guys learned something new. And thank you very much. Bye.